On a night like State of the Union, I would hope that the Democrats would be like, Jasmine, AOC, get us all in a room, tell us what to do. And we're still missing that. Welcome back to Hysteria, the podcast who will, well, actually you, if you called Trump's joint address to Congress on Tuesday a State of the Union. Well, Sami, you and I, we were on text with Caroline and Claire. It was a late night for us East Coasters, mostly because trauma doesn't settle easy when you want to go to bed. Trump's joint address to Congress was last night. It was Trump's first major presidential speech since returning to power, and it was long. Like 2 episodes of White Lotus and a pee break in between kind of long. Trump, you know what's so interesting? When we were in the White House, I remember all the conversations. Pfeiffer, Robert Gibbs, the press secretary, like, this speech has to be tight. The networks will go batshit if it goes to 10:05. And there was always the lore of Clinton's speech held up. You know, I think Clinton went 1:14 one year. You know, he went an hour and 14 or something like that one year. And it was like, it can't happen. So last night was long. Trump spent 100 minutes of speechifying. He contradicted himself. He made endless false claims about border crossings, inflation, the economy, boasted about his executive orders, and relentlessly attacked Democrats and anyone opposed to his agenda. Before we get into the details, early on in his address, Trump asserted that he has a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. And I know you and I just felt a need to remind listeners, while the vibe out there might feel like Trump won a landslide, that is not reality. He won the popular vote by 1.48%. Biden won it in 2020 by 4.45%, and Obama in 2008 by 7.27%. So let's set the stage with that, because if we're following the will of the people, they elected him. They did, but it was not a coronation.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, let's just go back to the length of the speech. For 100 minutes, I think that we actually got lucky. Because if you remember on the campaign trail about a week before the election, he spent 39 minutes or so just standing on stage listening to Pavarotti.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, I think we could have had that. And then what would we have done? So, you know, it could have been, he's done worse. And I think that that's what we have to remember. And then in terms of his mandate, the thing is that we're just in such information silos that, okay, people in this listening here will hear this and understand that. But does the word mandate even mean anything to people? And does it even matter in terms of what he's going to do?
He won.
You won. Even if he didn't win, or he lost the popular vote is what I mean, he is still there, and we're dealing with what he's doing, and he's you know doing a bunch of things.
So many things.
It's a very productive administration. Just say that.
So, well, no, let's parse that a little bit, right? Is it productive or is it just chaotic?
It is productively destructive.
Okay, that's fair. Wow.
And I think we have to reassess in our minds what the goals of the administration are. Because I'm hearing, oh, he destroyed the economy. He's going to do all this. He's going to screw up our relationships. I think it's time that we consider that maybe he might have different goals than we project onto the person occupying the American presidency.
Yeah.
And when you think about it from that perspective, you're like, oh, I see why he can't do that. And how could he do this? Are kind of reactions that just keep your wheels spinning.
Right. It was kind of like last week when Zelensky, it was just days ago actually, when Zelensky was in the Oval Office and people were just like tweaking out online. They're like, you know, Zelensky came in. I mean, people who are kind of like, I don't even know. I mean, they're people I know and I like them, but they were saying crazy things. They're like, well, Zelensky, like he really should have known. He should have just kind of gone in on bended knee and he should have gotten this signed and whatever. And that's what foreign leaders should do. And when you need something, I was like, is everyone forgetting that Benjamin Netanyahu actually endorsed Mitt Romney for president in 2012 when Barack Obama was president? And we didn't shut down Iron Dome. It's like sometimes you just cannot be such a petty bitch.
Yeah. Memories are short.
Short. So wait, tell me, what'd you think? where was your brain going last night when you were watching this speech?
Not to perpetuate the idea that women are more emotional at certain points of their cycle, but I am on the second day of my period. And so
Okay.
all my feelings are filtered through that feeling of frustration.
Despair?
No.
Okay. I get a lot of
Frust-
despair 2 days before.
Oh yeah, that was 2 days before. Now
Oh,
I'm
in
2
it.
days in.
Right.
So frustration and just irritation at the situation. And I find myself frustrated that the Democrats don't know how to redirect the conversation and give us something else to talk about other than this not very news-making speech.
Right.
There wasn't really much in there that
There was
new.
no real news. Like there was
Not
no
really.
policy. It was the equivalent of a stump speech in the last couple of weeks before an election. It was a rally speech.
Combined with kind of a talk show vibe, you get to go to college. You
that
get to
man
not
wants
have
to be
your AI
Oprah
porn.
so bad.
This is what's so disappointing. If people had just kind of let him into this New York culture and let him
I know.
have a show and got to talk about the Phantom of the Opera and read his column every week, he could have just done that.
He
Was
might
really
he
what
might have been
wanted.
happier.
His dad would have never accepted it.
Well, his dad's
So much
not
trauma playing out.
Dad's not here to see him be president, so I don't know what good it's doing anybody. Okay, what stood out to you?
The rowdiness of the environment and the cult-like nature of the clapping around some of it, the emotional performance of it, the bleak descriptions of sort of sexual violence and violence in general on multiple occasions in a way that feels insane to me.
Yeah.
Like when he was talking about the woman with the fake AI porn, and I don't do you know how many people are going to go Google that now? Like, why are we
I thought the
talking about
same
this?
thing.
Come on. It also stood out to me the way that JD and Mike Johnson were behind him. So there was this vibe of like, go, 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 go.
It was I would say for the first time since I remember, and I've been watching joint sessions
A few
and
joint
SOTUs
sessions.
since I was a baby. I never remember it feeling so unserious. Do you know what I mean? Like it was malevolent, like it was dangerous. There was bad things happening, but it didn't feel like it was being delivered in a remotely serious way. I mean, like JD Vance was smirking the entire time. And it actually, one of my takeaways from last night, he's too immature to be vice president. Like it's just, come on. Like, are we really going to give me a break? I'm glad he wrote a book. I'm glad he got into the Senate, but he was like a full-on frat bro sitting behind Trump last night. And Mike Johnson, God bless that Keebler elf. He was just there, nodding his head. He knew he had to. The thing that I forgive both of them a smidge, I guess, is that Donald Trump went back home, rewatched the entire State of the Union to see who responded as enthusiastically as he feels they should have. And
for everyone
right?
in the chamber.
Yeah.
He probably watched it on all the different channels.
Yeah. Be like, who are they focusing in on? Looking at Democrats, being like, maybe I got a chance with that one.
Probably. Yeah, it's Mojo Dojo Casa Congress. That's what's happening. And yes, JD Vance, it's not just that he's too immature because of last night. It's because he cannot go to Europe or even stay home without antagonizing the whole continent.
It's true. And Sammy, the reason that he does that and antagonizes, this is the immaturity part. The reason he does it and goes out and tries to antagonize everybody is because he wants to outshine Elon Musk. So
yes.
It is a competition. Like last night, he's like, I'm up here, Elon's down there. When he's in Europe, he's like, I'm here, Elon's there. When he was in the Oval Office with Zelensky, he was like, I am the eldest boy.
Right. Well, Jeremy Strong famously doesn't.
That's right.
But either way, I think that that's true, understandably. But if, he had the confidence to understand that he's actually number two, although what is it? None of this is real. It's all
bullshit.
Yeah. It's all bullshit.
Hysteria is brought to you by Quince. Who doesn't love the good things in life? Even though I enjoy a little luxury, it doesn't mean I can always afford it until I discovered Quince. Quince is my go-to for luxury essentials at affordable prices. Quince offers a range of high-quality items at prices within reach, like the 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50, washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, and 14-karat gold jewelry. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. First, I just have to say, I love my Quince sweaters, but I love the washable silk because I think I look very nice in silk, but I am a woman of a certain age who gets hot flashes, and sometimes you need to be able to wash your silk. And it comes out perfectly, 10 out of 10, no comments. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. So I love my cardigan. I love it so much. It doesn't pill. This is my biggest complaint about most sweaters, especially cashmere. They pill and you wear them once or twice and then you have to take them to get fixed, or you just don't wear them anymore. They just look like raggedy, but mine always look fresh from the box, and that is why I love them. So give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/hysteriapod for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/hysteriapod to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/hysteriapod. Hysteria is brought to you by Fatty 15. Guys, have you noticed you're getting older? It doesn't matter how old you are. You're always getting older, if you're lucky. It's a good thing, right? We're glad we're getting older. But getting older comes with some aches, some pains. Maybe you're not sleeping as well. Maybe your gut's not as, modal as it used to be. Which is why I'm excited to share with you guys C15 from Fatty 15, the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in more than 90 years. It's an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness, and you guessed it, aging and longevity. Fatty 15 co-founder Dr. Stephanie Venn Watson discovered the benefits of C15 while working with the U.S. Navy to continually improve the health and welfare of aging dolphins. I am so into that. Based on over 100 studies, we now know that C15 strengthens our cells and is a key longevity-enhancing nutrient, which helps to slow biological aging at the cellular level. In fact, when our cells don't have enough C15, they become fragile and they age faster. And when our cells age, our bodies age too. This eventually led to studies finding the first new nutritional deficiency in 75 years called cellular fragility syndrome, caused by a lack of essential fatty acid C15. As many as 1 in 3 people worldwide may have low C15 levels and cellular fragility syndrome. Do you? I'm going to find out. To help fix cellular fragility syndrome and further extend our health and longevity, a team of doctors working in collaboration with the U.S. Navy spent over a decade to develop the pure, optimized, and bioavailable C15-0 ingredient in Fatty 15. Thankfully, Fatty 15 repairs age-related damage to cells, protects them from future breakdown, and activates pathways in the body that help regulate our sleep, mood, and natural repair mechanisms that support our overall health. This functionality leads to so many other exciting benefits now and as we get older. In fact, 72% of Fatty 15 customers report seeing or feeling benefits within 16 weeks, including improved metabolic, liver, and heart health, smoother functioning joints, deeper sleep, healthier hair, skin, and nails. Now that's essential. Fatty 15 is a science-backed, award-winning, vegan, patented, 100% pure C15 supplement. It's vegan-friendly, free of flavors, fillers, allergens, or preservatives. Fatty 15 has 3 times more cellular benefits than omega-3 or fish oil. By replenishing our cells with the essential C15 nutrient, Fatty 15 effectively repairs cells and restores our long-term health. Fatty 15 is clinically proven to raise C15-0 levels, resulting in lower cholesterol levels, healthier liver function, improved gut microbiome health, and improved red blood cell health within 3 weeks. So for me, everyone who watches this, listens to this show, knows that I have a sensitive stomach, and I will definitely say that I have improved my gut biome. I can tell, and I'm grateful for it. Also, I just feel like everything just looks a little shinier. I don't mean my face, but like my hair is a little shinier. My nails are growing. Everything just feels like it's doing what it should be doing. And so I'm really grateful for that. Best of all, Fatty 15 comes in a gorgeous reusable glass bamboo jar, and refills are shipped right to your door. Fatty 15 is on a mission to optimize your C15 levels to help you live healthier longer. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/hysteria and using code hysteria at checkout. I was surprised by a couple things they didn't talk about. Did you notice anything?
The whole economy?
Yeah, there was one.
Just the whole economy. Inflation, prices of anything, groceries, his favorite word, groceries. Didn't talk about the price of groceries. He didn't talk about
no repro rights, no abortion.
Right, of course. Not much on Israel.
No, he avoided that hot potato. What did he say? It's a dangerous neighborhood over there.
Okay,
like there's a ceasefire.
I laughed.
No, there's a ceasefire expiring and in jeopardy, and he said nary a word.
Nope. No, nothing. I will give him that I did laugh at several points where he was like, I don't remember, like not with him, but
at him.
Just at the, I can't believe it's real kind of thing.
Well, like when he just started
Mexico, Canada, ever heard of those?
He just starts randomly listing things. And you could also tell when he was going off script. Mm-hmm. And then you'd be like, okay, it's about to get good. What's he gonna say that he really thinks? But the other thing that I thought was so interesting, when he was going through, now when most presidents deliver a major speech, they do prep. They read the speech in front of the prompter. They read it at different speeds. They try to see what kind of audience. They see where they should pause, right, for applause and that kind of stuff. I'd say straight up 25% of that speech he read like he was hearing it all for the first time.
Oh, I believe it. You think he read the 90-minute speech? Like he read all those pages?
No, especially at the font level that he was using. But like, what was the one where they were talking about aid to an African nation? And
something about Mozambique.
There was Mozambique, and then there was Lesotho. Did I say that? I don't even know if I said that right.
Uganda.
Right. And there was Uganda. And he was just like, and another. And we were like, oh my God. He said, Lesotho. He said, who's ever heard of that? And it's like, I could actually spell it. I just can't say it right now. But like, we know it's there.
Anyone who plays Sporkle Countries of the World, knows that Lesotho is a country. There was another part where that was clearly ad-libbed. I don't think someone wrote this into the speech. Pocahontas likes that one.
That was my biggest what the fuck moment. And like, God bless her. She took it like a champ. But the president of the United States of America called a sitting senator Pocahontas.
In the State of the
Union. I'm only laughing because she took it like a champ. But it's among the most despicable things that you can really kind of think of.
Despicable,
it's about as offensive.
You have to laugh at it still.
You have to laugh at it because he's learned 0 lessons in 15 years.
No, he's learned.
Just don't.
He has learned the lesson that this works because he keeps getting rewarded, and he's here, and he's basically completing a takeover of the federal government. So yes, he's learned a lot. He's learned.
Remember, what did he yell at her Pocahontas about? Oh, he was talking about Ukraine. And he said, made some reference. He said, well, we could keep the war going for another 5 years. I bet you'd like that, Pocahontas. Like, what?
Like, it's okay. It's what SNL would have parodied.
Yes.
His State of the Union.
We have to assume we got to assume Kate McKinnon may be coming back this Saturday.
I hope. But how do you parody it?
I don't know.
It's beyond.
It's just use of the
calling
word.
out to Elizabeth Warren in the middle of the speech spontaneously. Come on.
And I mean,
do you think he planned that? I don't think he did.
So this leads me to another question. Democrats. Let's talk about Democrats. Mm-hmm. So Sami, what did you think of the Democratic response before, during, after the speech? I feel like you have thoughts on this. I feel if you have a rant in you, like by all means.
I have a lot in me on this. Mm-hmm. I would say that it's disappointing.
Okay.
Quite disappointing. I'm going to try to moderate my language, but they fucking failed.
Okay.
I don't understand the instruction from Hakeem Jeffries to sit quietly and, that they should like be respectful and pretend this is normal. Here's what I would have done.
Okay.
Because this was scheduled
Right.
quite a bit in advance, and because this man has been in public life for decades, it's fairly obvious how it could go, a few scenarios. And you can use that knowledge. Again, this goes back to my imposter syndrome. You can use that knowledge to plan what you're going to do. Now, the question is, do you go or do you not go? That's obviously the first question. Or do you do a mix of that? Now, you can't just have it be empty because
you can't cede that space. Yes.
Yeah, you can't cede that space. And AOC said that they were trying to take their seats anyway. So if you decide we don't go, we're all not going. You don't just like not show up and whine on Twitter. What I would have done, I would have filled all of those seats with fired federal workers. And I would have had them hold up on a piece of whiteboard or something 5 bullet points about what they do for the federal government.
Whoa.
Things that are very salient, things that are very important, things that people understand benefit their lives. And I would have them hold those up, maybe even in front of their faces if they're worried about about retaliation or whatever, that they'd say they're crisis actors, but whatever. Make either fill the room with something meaningful, or you show up for either you're strategic about who will show up and who won't show up. This is, I don't think they would have ever done something as daring as like fill the room with fired federal workers, though.
Well, I don't think they could have.
Why?
Because it's the chamber.
Or what?
It's the chamber. And
or
you've got
what?
to listen. You want to hear my answer? You just want to keep for what in me. So they have to get in.
Erica Jane.
They have to get in through security, right? So these people would need a ticket. They would need a seat to get in there. And those are member seats. So I do not know. I am just saying it is possible. I do not know that is an actionable possibility for a member to give their floor seat to someone who is not a member.
Okay, so if they're going to kick them out, then
they could have been up in the gallery, though.
Okay, sure, but let's say they tried to bring them down there. Make a spectacle. Like the Al Green thing, all he did was scream, "You don't have a mandate to take away Medicaid," I believe.
Right.
And that moment stuck out enough that it's a talking point today. So because they never would have done something daring, like filling the room in a certain particular way, they needed to take a targeted approach.
Okay.
And I don't think they understand. I don't think they're self-aware enough as a caucus to understand like who's good at what and who should be doing what. But they should have thought in it. This is why the time in advance is so critical. They should be thinking about who is going to do what. So you had a few people who actually, I think, executed this on their own. AOC was like, I'm not going. I'm going to talk on Blue Sky.
Right.
And be interacting. And then I'm going to go on Instagram Live immediately after. Okay, that's like an effective
That's
choice.
her. That is a personally effective choice.
Right. Eric Swalwell brought the creator from The Good Liars to have him fact check. So, okay, you bring in like a new media person. That's pretty smart, in my opinion. They have a really big audience. So you have a strategy around what you're going to do.
Right.
Jasmine Crockett did TikToks. Like, she did like TikTok before she went, and then she didn't wear fucking pink, which...
We can talk about that another time.
She was like bringing people along with her, where she went and then she walked out and she went on live immediately. Maxwell Frost had an outfit where first of all, I don't think "No Kings Live Here" is like a great slogan, but the point is he tried.
Right.
A for effort, B minus for execution.
Right.
And he was on Instagram. He was doing like he appeared on cable. Like he was hustling. So there are members who I think had like a plan. If you're just going to sit there with the dumb fucking bingo paddle, then just figure something else out. And if you don't have something, then rethink your seat.
Hysteria is brought to you by Mosh. The older I get, Guys, we're always talking about how old I'm getting. The more I find myself wanting to be more intentional about the way I live, eat, and take care of my body. The old adage, you are what you eat, rings very true to all of us in the modern day, and I'm always looking for an on-the-go protein snack that satisfies me, but now I found one that helps me live intentionally too. Mosh bars. Mosh, which you may have heard about on Shark Tank, was founded by Maria Shriver and her son Patrick Schwarzenegger with a simple mission: to create a conversation about brain health through food, education, and research. Maria's father suffered from Alzheimer's, and since then she and Patrick have dedicated themselves to finding ways to help other families dealing with this debilitating disease. Mosh joined forces with the world's top scientists and functional nutritionists to go beyond your average protein bar. With 8 delicious flavors, including a plant-based one in peanut butter and chocolate, each Mosh bar is made with ingredients that support brain health like ashwagandha, lion's mane, collagen, and omega-3s. And now Mosh bars come with a new look and new formulation featuring a game-changing, brain-boosting ingredient you won't find in any other bar. Mosh is now the first and only food brand boosted with cognizin, a premium nootropic that supplies the brain with a patented form of acetylcholine. But here's the best part to make you feel good. Mosh donates a portion of all proceeds from your order to fund gender-based brain health research through the Women's Alzheimer's Movement. Why gender-based? 2/3 of all Alzheimer's patients are women. Mosh is working closely to close the gap between women and men's health research. So turned 49 last week. Brain fog has been a thing. And a lot of weird things happen in perimenopause. You're like, I don't know. Is it brain fog from my estrogen or am I dying? So these bars to me are very, very helpful because I know it's my estrogen, but I still have brain fog and they help very much. Also, 2 of my grandparents had Alzheimer's before they passed away. So I have always been hyper aware of my brain and wanting to do the absolute best for my brain. Also, they're delicious. I love the blueberry flavor. They are tasty. They are good for on the go. Also, for my gut health, I have been told to be eating smaller meals throughout the day. And so these bars play a critical role in my post-hysteria snack time. If you want to find ways to give back to others and fuel your body and your brain, Mosh bars are the perfect choice for you. Head to moshlife.com/hysteria to save 20% off plus free shipping on the Bestsellers trial pack. That's 20% off plus free shipping on the Bestsellers trial pack at moshlife.com/hysteria. Thank you, Mosh, for sponsoring this episode. Hysteria is brought to you by Helix. If you guys have gotten to this part of the episode and don't realize I'm getting old, well, we're just going to drive the point home. So part of getting older, especially if you're a woman, I don't know if it happens to men because I'm not one. My sleep is terrible. I have terrible, terrible sleep. I am hot. I get so hot when I sleep. Sometimes you just need to keep extra pillows so that you can swap your hot, sticky pillow out when you wake up in the middle of the night so you have any chance of going back to sleep. Not only that, but I've developed some sort of acid reflux thing, which requires me to sleep with my head lifted up so that I can actually, fall asleep. But the funny thing about it is my Helix bed helps with all of those things. So many things. Because the problem was when I was propping myself up on my old bed so that I didn't have acid reflux, I was getting all sorts of shoulder problems. Not so anymore. Nope, not with my Helix mattress. We got our Helix mattress to solve a bunch of issues, and most of them are solved, and I really couldn't be happier. My sleep is so much better. The quality of the products is so good. My pillows keep my head supported, but don't give me like cramps in my neck, and the Midnight Luxe Helix is so wonderful because it's not too firm, but it's not too soft, so it's perfect. You know who loves it? The cats. The cats love it because we have a new sleep routine where we try to wind down at 8 o'clock and we get in bed and we watch The West Wing on our iPad, all of us together on the Helix, cozy like snugs, bugs in a rugs. And one other thing that's great, I don't snore that much anymore. My husband, who is a king, never really told me that I was a snorer, but I guess it got kind of bad a while back and he'd be like, you snore, but really not snoring as badly anymore. It's not gone, but progress is all that we can hope for. Go to helixsleep.com/hysteria for 20% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/hysteria for 20% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/hysteria. So I agree with you almost across the board. Okay, quick question. Sami Sage represents the great state of New York, New York's whatever district. You're there yesterday. You have a choice. Do you go? Do you not go?
It kind of depends, like, what relationship I've built with my constituency, like the exact approach I took. But I would probably do like a Jasmine Crockett-esque approach in terms of like taking people along with me, where with whatever my choice is, and just kind of playing out the day. And if I go, I go. If I don't go, I don't go.
Okay.
And covering it on my socials. Like I would still be covering it even if I wasn't in there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I just had
And if I were going, I would have, you know, I assume if I'm in Congress, I have like a cause and I have a thing that I do or I talk about.
Right.
When he inevitably lies about that thing or whatever it is, if that were my area, I would get myself kicked out over that thing. And then I would go on all the cable channels, including Fox, and I would talk about why I screamed about the thing that he lied about, and I would like make a thing out of it.
I love that for you. See, this is where
Thank you.
This is what I feel like I always learn so much from you because I'm like
I learn more from you, like that you can't just go into the seats.
Well, look, we all need guardrails, right? I'm just a guardrail kind of gal. But like I love that there is an age difference between the two of us that allows me, but also a deep friendship that allows me to be like, I 100% would have sat in my seat. like Elizabeth Warren. I would have done social media too. But you know what I thought they were missing was like the paddles, again, like an idea with bad execution. Like what I would have done, there are certain things that you know that he was going to talk about, right? And so I don't know, this may be super cheesy, but I think I would have done something that would have been understated, but would have thrown him off his game. So he loves his flow, right? So when he's talking about Ukraine, I would have said to everyone, the minute he mentions Ukraine, you count back from 10 and everyone says Slava Ukraini. Like he would have been so confused if that happened. And I think that there were like moments that like, because also even as someone who physically was watching it, I couldn't tell what the paddles said. They weren't big enough. And they didn't all say the same thing. And some of them had fronts and backs that said different things.
Save Medicaid.
It was,
we love veterans. You're lying. False.
It was, and also like the you know, this is my favorite, and it's been a topic of all the town hall conversations that people have been having. If they wanted to make one effort that everyone could get behind, I would have gotten t-shirts made that they all should have worn respectfully under their suits that say 1 in 3 federal workers is a veteran.
That's not a bad message.
Oh, thank you, Sami.
That's a good one to pick. Like they had to be more, I mean, look, they had the veteran paddle. What, to your point about throwing him off his game, that's exactly the need to be agile.
Right.
The need to like do something that's creative. I'm so sick of the lack of creativity. If instead of the paddles, what they should have done was had whiteboards that they can write on. And that way things could have been like funny and you could have had iconic, memeable images because like the person who held up the "this is not normal" sign.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about that. I've seen that. She got it torn out of her hand, but that was more conversation. So the ability to be flexible and creative and funny and like to steal the narrative. Nothing they did steals the narrative because even though AOC did well and Jasmine Crockett did well and whatever, that's not the Democrats because they're just not united. And I think part of it is that they don't have a North Star to be promising. They're just still fighting the last battle, defending the institutions, which is why part of my strategy is that Elizabeth Warren, our policy maven, there was a New York Times piece that was like, Democrats need a Project 2029. She's got a few plans in the drawer, I'm sure.
Totally.
Why doesn't she start working on what the future policy planks could be, potential options, and give something, like someone needs to be working on what that is. And there needs to be people who actually are competent enough to do it and not taken by corporate donations. So let's get going. Bernie's running around the country on his oligarchy tour. That's another thing. I think a lot of the representatives should be doing that. Why are we leaving it to an 83-year-old man to hoof it around the country?
Well, see, I was going to say there's a lot of like, and again, it's like, I don't really know the DNC's role in anything or like if they're spearheading any of this, but in theory, I would love to see Klobuchar, Gillibrand, bunch of the bad bitches on a bus going around being like, and like the women, I want the women who can explain, Elizabeth Warren, who can explain things on a turn, who are like, no, this is how it works. And this is why this is bad. And this is why this is a lie. And you as a farmer are going to get screwed. And I think that would be good. But like in terms of big moments, like the State of the Union, they really, okay, I'm going to take us back to 1980. Okay,
I wasn't even alive.
I'm sure you weren't, you chucklehead. I was in the 4-year-olds at my nursery school, Freedom
You
Plains.
were barely alive either. Come on.
But I had somehow heard that it was my nursery school teacher's birthday, and I brought everybody into the Windy house, and I was like, "You're in charge of cupcakes. You're in charge of potato chips. You're in charge of like crepe paper and balloons and all this stuff." I was 4. It's an epic story because the world has changed a lot, and so today, that kind of like ingenuity and drive would be celebrated. I unfortunately was found out, in air quotes, and the teachers made me stand at the front door, which was a little Dutch door, so it was like 2 doors. And I had to say, "I'm very sorry for telling a tale. I'm very sorry for telling a tale."
What tale did you tell?
Well, that was the crazy part. It actually was her birthday. So no real lessons learned other than sometimes you have to take coordination into your own hands. And on a night like State of the Union, I would hope that the Democrats would be like, "Jasmine, AOC, get us all in a room. Tell us what to do. Just tell us what to do. We'll do whatever you tell us to do. Tell us what to do." And we're still missing that. Like we're missing people. What my old boss, David Plouffe, used to say is that we all have our highest, best use, the thing that we are uniquely qualified for, right? And
yes, I'm with that.
Right? And like, let's be real about who is uniquely qualified for what. I don't need Sheldon Whitehouse on TikTok, right? But he could be sitting in the audience with a T-shirt on that says 1 in 3 federal employees is a veteran.
Here's the thing. Sheldon Whitehouse does, I think, have Sheldon Whitehouse is very good at explaining and very knowledgeable. So he should be probably helping Liz Warren come up with an anti-corruption platform. I think that would be a good use of time for Sheldon Whitehouse.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like some of them have to be serious. Some of them have to be, they can't all be doing a Kendrick Lamar TikTok. And that doesn't mean that you don't have a really important role, but someone has to be doing the legwork on policies and messaging. And Sheldon Whitehouse also can go out to his constituency and test what do people respond to? What do moderates respond to? What do people who are disenchanted Trump voters respond to? So everyone needs to yes, highest best use. Is there anyone who can organize this around?
Sami, I feel like we might have to.
I don't. I'm not like that.
I'm just kidding. We're not.
I have good ideas, but you're organized.